So today I'm going to show you guys how to make your own crochet headband. It definitely took me a little while, I just have to say before I do anything or show you guys anything that it takes practice. I mean, I didn't really understand crocheting until like maybe the fourth time that I tried doing it, and then I was like, oh, you know, this is actually kind of cool, and then I started making things like this. And these are kind of really awesome to wear if you do wear your hair up because they will definitely keep your ears warm, but it still looks really cute. They make really great gifts for Christmas as well, so I thought that this would be a good time to show you guys how to make one. Also, before I show you guys anything, the same technique and stitch and everything that I use to make these headbands can also be used to make scarves. So I actually crocheted this like by myself. It's the exact same technique, but instead of making it just this wide, I just kept going with the original chain, and then I built off of that, and then I just made this really cool infinity scarf. So if you guys would like to know how to crochet and how to make your own headband, then just keep watching. To make one of these crochet headbands, you will obviously need some yarn, a crochet hook, and scissors. And this is the yarn that I'm using. I just got it from Michael's. I like to use the thicker yarn, but you can use whatever size you want. And for the thicker yarn, I use a 9mm crochet hook. So the first thing you want to do when making these is you want to make a loop, and I think this is called a slip knot. I'm not totally sure, but you basically just wrap it around your finger and pull one side of the yarn through so that you can actually adjust the size of the loop. Once you have that done, you just want to insert the crochet hook through the loop, and then you take the side of the yarn that is still attached to the whole yarn bundle and you want to wrap it around the crochet hook, and you're basically just hooking the yarn and pulling it through that first little loop that you made. And it's super easy. Basically, you want to keep doing this for the width that you want your headband to be, because this is going to be the base that we're going to work off of. So obviously this is going to make it how wide you want it to be, depending on how wide or not wide, I guess, you like it. So it's all up to you. I do about 5. And then once you get that width, you want to add an extra little chain. And you definitely want to keep track of how many chains you did because it's very easy to get lost. Now you want to basically find the second to last chain that you did. So that extra chain, you don't want to put the crochet hook through it. I actually did this in this video because I was not paying attention. Just pretend that it was the second to last one. But basically you want to wrap the yarn around the crochet hook before you do this once, and then you will insert the crochet hook through that chain. Now, this step might be a little confusing, but you basically want to hook the yarn and only pull it through that one chain. So again, that would be the second to last chain. Only pull the hook through that one chain, and then you're going to loop it again, and you're going to pull it through all 3 this time. So basically you're going to continue on just like that throughout the whole thing. So I'll show you again because it can be kind of confusing. So I've just wrapped the yarn around the hook and I'm inserting it through the next chain. I'm going to pull the yarn through that one chain, and then again I'm going to wrap it, but I'm going to pull it through all 3 this time. The reason why it is so important to keep track of the number of chains you did in the first place is because it'll make this step a lot easier. Basically, it'll just let you remember how many times you should be doing this stitch. So I'm sure this is quite confusing, so I'm just going to go through it one more time. You will want to wrap the yarn around the crochet hook, and then you will insert the crochet hook through the next chain loop. Now you just want to hook the yarn and pull it through that chain, and then you will have 3 loops that you will see on it, and then you'll hook the yarn one more time and pull it through all 3 loops. So just continue to do this all the way down to the end of the second row. The first 2 rows are definitely a bit confusing because they are slightly different than the rest of the rows because you're kind of only working off a chain, and it does get a little bit confusing, but it's not too difficult. So when you reach the end of the row, you basically just want to do the exact same thing that you've been doing. So just insert the hook through the very last chain, and then you'll pull it through just like all the other ones, and you have 3 on your crochet hook, and then you just pull it through all 3. So when you reach the very end of your second row, you will want to do 1 more chain. So you're not going to do anything different than your first chain. This is just going to be a little loop, and then you'll want to flip it around. To start your third row, you're going to do it exactly like you did the second row, except on the second row, you're going to see that there is a braid looking top to it. So you're going to insert the crochet hook underneath that braid, so it should only be going underneath 2 pieces of yarn. Going to be exactly the same. They're all going to look like a braid on the top, and you basically just want to do the exact same thing. You will wrap the yarn around the crochet hook and you'll insert it underneath the next little braid, and you're going to do the exact same thing again, wrap it around and just hook the yarn and pull it through that first little chain braid, and then you'll have 3 on your hook again, and then you'll just hook the yarn and pull it all the way through all 3 of them. So now I'm going to stop talking and just kind of let you watch how I do it. This is another part where it's very easy to kind of lose track because you might forget about the little stitch at the end, so just make sure that you keep track of how many you're doing, and it's definitely there. I definitely made this mistake when I first started to crochet, and my pieces were turning out kind of wavy, and I didn't know why, but it's because I didn't notice that there was another little stitch at the end. And also, don't forget, after every row you have to chain 1, which is basically just making a little loop at the end. So in case you don't get it already, I'm just gonna go ahead and continue one more row and just kind of let you watch. If you do get it already, you can just skip to the end and see how to finish it off. So it took me about 20 minutes to finish the rest of the headband after I wasn't trying to look through the viewfinder to do it. It definitely was a bit distracting, but this is what it should look like. And also, this would be a very great time to measure that it will fit your head, because it's very easy to make it too small or too big or something. So mine was about 20 inches long, and also you do want to leave like just a tiny bit of space to actually join it together, because that can actually use a little bit more room as well. So just make sure that it fits snug enough that it'll actually stay on your head. So when you're joining these together, you're going to do the exact same steps that you've been doing the whole time, except you're going to go through both sides. So you just want to join the 2 ends together and then do the exact same technique. So you just want to wrap it around the hook, and then this time you're going to go through both ends, so underneath both of the 2 little braided ends, and you're going to just hook it through. Then you'll have the 3 loops, and then you'll hook it through again and pull it through all 3. So when you reach the end, you should have this little thing. It basically just looks like a little braid that's joining them together. You want to cut off the rest of the yarn that was attached to the thing and then just pull it all the way through so that you have this loose end. Now, to make sure that it doesn't unravel, I'm going to basically just weave that little tail in and out of the headband close to where I join the 2 ends together, and I'm just going to bring it all the way over to the other tail that I started with. So when I get it to the other side, I'm just going to tie a double knot and then trim off the excess. and then it's all finished. So it definitely took me some practice to get used to this and everything, but it's very fun to learn how to do. So that is it, and I hope you guys liked it. It might have been really confusing for you guys, I don't know. I tried to make it as simple to follow as possible without being super boring and like an hour long. So I hope you guys got the gist of it, and of course there are tons of videos out there to learn how to crochet and books and everything. So if my video was confusing, I apologize, but I tried to do my best. So please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and you found it helpful, because I would really appreciate it, and don't forget to subscribe to me if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!